Fumblers, and welcome to another episode of the Fumblers podcast, the show where four friends fumble through your favorite films. Today, we are going to be reviewing Coraline, a movie released in 2000. Oh, Coraline! Fuck, dude, that's so funny.
I thought that was a bit, and then you just kept going.
Oh, shit. Coraline. We're leaving it in. We're going it. We're doing it.
No, it fits.
Coraline, released in 2009, directed by Henry Selick. So without further ado, my name's Adrian.
I'm Jay.
I'm Taryn.
Hey, it's James.
Dude, and it's so funny because when I was looking up this movie to watch it, I was just like, why can't I fucking find this anywhere? I was searching Caroline. Watching the movie,
Sweet Caroline.
Everyone says her
That's
name
so
wrong, and it
funny.
completely justified. I was like, thank you.
Dude, okay,
It's not
I
her
just
name,
want to say,
Coraline.
last week when you were telling everybody what the movie was, you also said Caroline. And Jordan, when
Did
I
I?
left, like when we ended the stream and stuff, and I went out into the living room, Jordan was like, he kept saying fucking Caroline. It's not Caroline. And I was like, oh my God, I know. I realized that after. But then I watched the movie and I was like, wait, that actually kind of works because
Yeah, no. And it's so funny because in my head I was like, don't say Caroline. Like, don't say the name wrong. And then of course I go, okay, let's take this fucking shot to
That is
forget about that intro.
Let's
Fucking going in hot. Cheers, brothers.
So then
Cheers.
we'll be able to say
Cheers to the
Hey,
chat.
cheers. Happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday,
Happy
James.
birthday.
James'
dude.
birthday episode.
thanks, guys.
Ooh,
The big
Delicious.
2-8.
that's not a big one, James. No, I'm just kidding.
What? I
It's
mean,
big for you, dude.
I mean,
10 years since I was 18, man.
since high school, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Fuck.
Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna keep. Okay. What are we drinking tonight? So I made a Tom Collins because at the very end, those fucking squirrely ass ladies, they were just like, throw some gin in this, dear, and it was lemonade. And I was like,
Man.
a Tom Collins is a gin lemonade, brother. We're fucking going for it.
Nice.
There we
We're
go.
doing it.
There
So
we go.
yeah,
I'm just, Old Faithful, the claws.
Old Faithful.
New
I was shooting
faithful.
Cheetos.
The new hotness, truly. I'm
I'm
shooting
behind the scenes.
Excuse me. What's that guy's name?
me.
Sloppy in the chat.
The tequila from that one dude.
The Rock?
No. Why
Oh, you said it last week,
George
right?
Clooney.
George Clooney.
That's right, George
George
Clooney.
Clooney's
So fucked.
tequila. It's still good.
Tequila.
It's good.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, so let's jump into Coraline. First time seeing this movie for anyone here. This is my first time.
Same here.
For me, Taryn,
First time for me too. Yeah.
Wow, dude, I feel
Uh,
like this is. Go ahead, James.
I saw this in theaters.
Nice.
Jeez,
Oh.
okay, nice.
Possibly in 3D back when this movie
Oh,
came
that
out
was
in
the-
2009.
Yeah,
3D
Back
hotness.
Gimmick.
Back
Yeah.
when every freaking movie was just like
yeah. It was like,
Let's-
whoa.
Give us
blind
10
your
more
eye.
dollars for this
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
how it's
saw this
custom.
movie in theaters, left the theater thinking, so fucking what?
oh,
Wow.
hot take already.
Hot takes.
All right. Dude, all right, if we want to start off on hot takes, so I was like just doing some research on this movie.
Yeah.
And so you know how when you Google like a title or something, and it says like, oh, these are other questions people ask about the movie. So it was just like, did Tim Burton direct Coraline? And I was like, no. And then it kind of got me like thinking about how bothered I am by how much credit Tim Burton gets for these types of, like, he's so credited for A Nightmare Before Christmas, and he fucking basically didn't do anything in that movie.
Dude,
Like-
this guy directed that too, right? Or
Yeah.
Co-directed?
He directed that. No, he directed that. Tim Burton just produced it, and he was there like a handful of days for actual production.
wow.
Yeah.
And so like, but he's so I guess the hot take is I have beef with Tim Burton. All right, that's what
Like,
it is.
Okay. So,
He's the
like,
king of
thing
that
is-
vibe though, dude. I don't
But yeah,
know.
Dude,
so,
he
like,
didn't do anything in. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
they share similar vibes, is what it is. It's like,
Mhm, mhm.
when you do a certain kind of music, you're vibing with those certain kind of peeps. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Yeah.
always going to be those people that you're calling up to do this kind of stuff.
But like
Well,
the thing,
okay. I just want to stop you right there, Adrian, because
okay.
you know, I don't want to let this drag out here because you're just wrong. Okay. Okay, look, no, I largely agree that in a lot of
Okay.
other things, they just slap Tim Burton's name on it and it makes $1 million. I agree. But in The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is what you said specifically,
Yeah.
he wrote like a book called The Nightmare Before Christmas that has all the characters. And
Tim
that's
Burton
what the movie is based off of. Yeah.
Okay,
So it's
yeah.
like it's a
Okay.
thing that existed. It was IP that he created.
All
But
right.
he didn't direct it, and you
And
know,
he wasn't
I
there
was
doing filming and shit. Like he wasn't.
Right.
He was very hands off with it. So it's just. And
Yeah.
the thing, what I will say is, Henry Selick, he's not a household name. Like people, I don't
Right.
think really know his name,
I
like
think
they
he
do
got
Tim Burton.
robbed.
Yeah, I agree.
Completely got robbed. Because
Yeah.
this movie, I mean, Coraline, this is great. Like this was a great fucking movie. The art, like it was fun to watch, and I want to see more of shit like this, you know. And I know there's got to
Yeah.
be, you know, more shit like this
It's
out there, but
it's
there
weird.
is.
ahead, James.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is also based off of a book
Yeah, Neil
it is based off
Gaiman.
of a book.
Gaiman?
written by
Neil
Gaiman?
Gaiman.
him, right?
Gaiman?
No, not Tim Burton.
No, Schleck. What's his name?
No, it's
No,
Henry
Neil.
Selick.
Neil Gaiman.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Gaiman or Gaiman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where did I get Schleck? I don't know.
which is like he's a popular enough author to have his own masterclass on masterclass.com. Not a sponsor. So he must write good-ish
Dude,
books, you know.
He wrote that Norse
Ron
mythology
Howard.
book or whatever. That shit looks cool as fuck.
I've never read. I've heard of his name, but I've never read anything by him. So
Me too.
I just don't know. But it was interesting to
Yeah.
hear that because I feel like in my head I associate his name with things that are not like this,
Mhm.
like maybe things that are more serious or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and to go back into James's point, I mean, like people who have this artistic style flock together, you know, like it makes sense that Tim Burton, they largely have the same kind of vibe, you know, even in Tim Burton's actual stuff that he's like legitimately directed,
Dude,
you know, it has that
Beetlejuice,
kind of-
man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, what's that?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that video where it's just like every Tim Burton movie or like every Tim Burton pitch meeting, and it's just like we need more buckets of white and black paint, and like get my wife and on the phone with who the fuck is in all of his movies?
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter is his
Yeah,
wife.
and
His wife, yeah, okay,
Johnny
yeah.
Depp.
and Johnny Depp. Yeah, get Johnny Depp and my wife on the phone. And it's
Yeah.
just literally every pitch meeting. But
Sign
I
the
mean,
deals
it's
with
an
Hot
aesthetic.
Topic. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, that's what I was saying the other day. Like, can you imagine the royalties he gets off of Hot Topic merch from Nightmare Before Christmas? It's got to be insane.
Insanity.
I can't imagine.
I think so.
Hell
is,
yeah,
is
dude.
Hot Topic even like,
Hot anymore? Probably not.
I don't know, like, is it a thing?
Ooh.
When this movie came out, I feel like more so.
Do you remember?
Oh, 2009. That was probably
Of
its
the
peak.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when dubstep was like being the new thing, and they literally in Hot Topic? I remember this vividly because I don't know, we were all drum and bass kids, right? And then Hot Topic and dubstep was kind of like we liked it, but then the new like crazy wub was like it wasn't really dubstep what we knew.
Mm.
And then when I went into Hot Topic, and there was just a T-shirt that literally just said dubstep. It was like
gosh.
so pandering to
Yeah.
like the preteen masses, and it was just
And James bought it and he felt terrible about it.
no,
And-
I never drum and bass till I died, baby. But
oh man.
Hell yeah.
just a random offshoot from that. But
Yeah. But no, it's this world of Tim Burton, and not this specifically, but you know, these other movies are this world of Tim Burton that he creates or whatever. But yeah,
And-
this definitely had that feeling. Like
Yeah,
it was
it-
that vibe.
it even smells like Hot Topic, right? Like these movies, these kind of movies. You know what? You guys know what
Got
Hot
that
Topic
stench.
smells, right? Like,
Take Hot
every
Topic.
time you're walking in the mall and you just like pass by Hot Topic, you just smell that smell. What is that smell? What does that smell? Even like Hollister has that smell too. Not
it's-
that same smell. It's a
yeah.
different smell. But what is it that they spray in the
It's
store?
adolescent apathy and hating your parents.
Okay.
It's the same technology that McDonald's uses to spray fry smell outside of their buildings.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
and the
God.
Whopper, Burger King, dude. You smell that charbroiled grilled?
You smell it.
Not a sponsor. You smell it. You know that's Burger King.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Ooh, all right.
Sorry, we went way
Let's
out there.
find our way back to Coraline.
Stop motion, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Stop motion.
So let's jump right into that. So going in, I knew the whole thing was stop motion. That's like, I don't want to say a trope of this style. It's like that's a style on its own. But for the first like 10 minutes, I'm always hyper aware of the stop motion, and then I just like forget about it. Like I forget that it's a stop motion. Is that?
Yeah.
Do you guys resonate with that or?
Definitely.
I think so too. Yeah, for sure. Like it, and that's a good sign, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
do you
I think
guys
it's a good thing.
do you guys know a fun fact about how many people worked on this movie?
Oh, dude.
I don't.
I don't even know. Yeah.
Guess a number. You probably won't even
Hundreds.
be close.
Thousands.
500.
Wow, Jay, you guessed it just on the nose.
500 even?
Wow.
Okay.
That's a
500
lot of fucking people.
500 different people worked on this movie over a, correct me if I'm wrong, Lisnacky in the chat, over a 4-year period.
Damn.
4
Did they
years.
start
That's not as
production in
long as I thought it
2005,
would be,
though?
dude.
But 500 people? Like okay,
That's
what's,
true.
what's
'Cause-
the budget on this bad boy?
I don't know.
60 million.
How
We
much?
gotta
That's
take
it?
60 million.
60?
$60 million budget.
6-0. Yeah, with a box
6-0.
office of 100 and rounding it up to a 125. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double.
Nice.
So
It's just-
doubled it.
what
Yeah.
It's wild
So,
because. Go ahead, James.
I'm just thinking like 500 people. 60 million seems like a lot, but when you got a staff of 500,
No, that's what I'm saying. It sounds low.
it's yeah. I'm like, these people probably
Yeah.
were working for pennies, right? Like because
Well,
think about it.
not.
Like you get Dakota Fanning in here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get Terry Hatcher. You get all these other names, right? They that shaves
Yeah.
off a
Aliens.
quick,
Keith David, right?
you know, that shaves off a quick 25 mil,
Wait,
right?
Keith David was in this?
He's a cat.
He's the cat, dude.
No way.
Yeah.
From the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
He's the
he-
cat. He's in the Fumblerverse now, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
Keith David ran. I saw him and I was
Okay.
just like, I didn't want to look up what character he was. I was like, I want to find it. And then the cat doesn't talk until like 2/3 through the movie. And then when it does, I was like,
That's awesome. I didn't even recognize it.
yeah, it's like a cool. I mean, he's a voice actor, you know. He's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
dude.
James. I didn't mean to derail you there.
Me? Oh no, that's
All
really
right.
like.
Let me keep going
I
on
mean,
the
that's really all I was saying. It's just like,
production.
yeah. Go ahead.
spit it
I
out.
watched like a short little behind the scenes that what is the production company that made this? Starts with an L, I forget, but they put it up themselves, and it's just like yeah, like a
Yeah.
there's one person in it that just knitted the sweaters and shit, and she was like,
Oh,
it takes
no.
me 6 weeks to 6 months to make one like piece of fucking clothing, dude.
What the?
I was just
fuck?
like, that's why I'm like, 4 years? How did they do this?
so insane.
That's awesome.
Every time I watch stop motion, dude, it blows my fucking mind how anyone has the patience to do this, man.
Yeah.
It's
That's
so cool.
I
That's
think
wild, but also okay. I'm gonna hot take here.
Oh, boy.
Also, a grossly like it's a bad use of time, right? Like, how does it take 500
I don't
people?
know.
I think it's worth
there-
it.
there's something along the lines of management has to
Okay.
be it's mismanaged. It's a bad
Dude, she's like, I'm working with
use of
needles
time.
that are
Like,
the
right?
same size as a fucking human hair and shit. Like that, they're just masters of their craft, dude. Like,
Yeah, I would say no. It's not a mismanagement of time. Are you kidding me? There's a documentary on Disney Plus called something. It's something that has to do with props, and they have like 8 movies worth of episodes. They're like 30 minutes each and they go through props of those movies where they exist in the world now. One of them is of Nightmare Before Christmas, and they have a box, a huge ass box, wooden ass trunk, right? Probably like 16 slots in it, where each hole is filled by one of Jack's emotions, like
Yep.
just his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Like
wow.
okay.
every single thing has to be made and like be interchangeable and shit. Dude, that has to be so much work. I can't even begin to think about how to tackle it. That is insane.
You know
But
how
I
many
think what James is saying is that like can't you, like
just CG
at this
it?
point just CG it? Like
No,
is
okay,
that what
no,
you're getting
no,
at?
CG
Okay,
won't be good.
I'm not even advocating for CGing it. I'm just saying, how can 500 people be doing something fucking relevant to the movie? I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Okay.
Oh, you
here's
think-
Honestly,
why-
don't believe it. I feel like somebody here is fucking smoking cigarettes every other like little
Okay,
thread.
dude.
That's why it's taking her 6 months, dude. Like she's
You're
like,
getting me all amped
Well,
up. over
in
here.
the case
They're
of
like
in the
this
case of A Nightmare
fucking
Before,
big, dude.
yeah.
come on, dude. Come
Okay,
on.
no, okay,
I
think
don't
about it
know.
like this, think about it like this.
I'm not believing it. I'm not
Think
believing
about
it.
it like this. Okay, to talk about Adrian's point about CG does not age well. If we look at the thing, the beginning of the thing, garbage. But why was the rest of the thing good? Because of the
Practical.
practical effects.
Yeah.
These are real life things. People are making these things out of clay, out of cloth, whatever. And what you're seeing is actual camera movement around this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not animated. It's not.
I'm
And
not
to be fair, I wasn't advocating for
I'm not
CG. I was saying
advocating for
I know
CG.
you're
Like, I'm really not. But I feel like somebody somewhere along in 500 people, somebody's fucking off. Someone's,
no,
someone,
dude.
someone's
I don't
not-
Okay.
for Christmas it was
not-
Tim Burton. I mean, let's go back to
There's all your money. There's your budget. Half is
There's the
Tim
budget.
Burton's by default.
He's not even.
Dude, okay.
in the case of Nightmare. Yeah.
He's
sorry.
not even named.
Jay brought
Let me
up-
throw that one in there.
Jay brought up the trunk of facial expressions for The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know how many fucking facial expressions there were for Coraline? I'm pretty sure it was just Coraline in this movie. Guess.
What? It was just.
Oh, there's a real number that you know.
It's just said over this
James
number.
is
It was
just
if I
happy face.
guess
What,
again,
was it? This?
Guess again, Jay. You got it.
I guess again, and I get it.
Oh.
120.
Uh,
That's my
75?
208,000.
Wait, for just Coraline's
I'm
character?
pretty sure, dude. Because her mouth
A
moves
facial
in a
expression?
her mouth moves in a fluid motion, right? That's like 30 right there. You know what I
Somebody
mean?
fact check
Wow.
it.
That seems real.
See, and okay,
I'm looking.
Okay.
I
That is
swear to
so-
you.
I
I
don't know.
swear to you, dude.
Okay.
because like for
Okay,
the
okay,
untrained,
okay.
for people who don't know about like none of us have ever done anything really stop motion, right? I think okay, I did like a photography project in high school. It was like 7 photos.
Okay, the
And it was-
characters of
I was gonna
Coraline.
say,
I'm
I was
sorry.
like,
I'm sorry.
Bro, dude,
The
I
character.
was like, bro.
But
I did
still.
stop motion
Yeah.
animation in my film class in high school, bro.
Yeah, no,
wait,
but
who
like
was
an
it? Who
actual.
was it?
Yeah, I know.
What was whose?
What was it? James.
Mine? Oh, James's.
For a stop motion film you did in high school, what was
What
it?
was it? Yeah, what was your thing?
Oh, it was a rip. It was called Star Battles, which is basically
I fucking remember this.
so
Western.
it was a western, but it was Star Wars. It was a ripoff, and yes, it was stop motion animation. Me and a good friend Sean Desautels, shout out to him. I don't know if he's here in the chat. Probably not, but he was in my chat. Yeah, so
Dude.
we did the force thing, dude. I
Oh, I remember this now.
I tied up
actually remember this.
a fake like what do you call it, fishing string to the lightsaber, and I did the force pickup, and I was like,
Yeah, I remember,
it
dude.
was like, and it was, dude. I know all about stop motion, dude.
Okay. Mine was a lot less cool. But Jay, you remember my stop motion? You were in it. You were you were one of the main pieces. It was me and you.
Say it out loud, and I'll remember it.
It was called. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It was called The Drug Deal, and
Oh,
it was.
In high school.
It was a flip
We
book
got
of
away
like
with a lot of shit.
it was a flip book of like 7 pictures or something of you and I in front of my parents' house, walking up to each other, exchanging drugs, and then me pulling out a fake gun, which was a BB gun,
I actually
you
remember
showed me
this.
this.
I think.
and shooting you and you
Holy
dying,
shit.
and then
And
I
they-
run up.
they let-
I'm like,
They let you turn that in high
Yeah.
school?
I still have it. It's like in my parents' closet.
It was
Yeah.
tasteful.
Dude,
It was
this is a
tasteful. It was
this is
our-
a testament of
Yeah.
West Mesa High School education. They don't give a shit
great.
about
There was
nothing.
some nudity, but it was very tastefully done.
It was actually really well
Wait,
done. 'Cause I remember
what?
Manuel. I think
I'm
it was
just kidding.
Manuel's BB gun.
Carlos.
Right?
It was Carlos. Oh no, it was my BB gun, but Carlos was there to help us shoot it.
Okay.
Carlos Mendoza, shout out to him.
Because
He was the one to check on you after I had killed you
right.
in
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah,
We went down the street towards Manuel's
yeah.
in front of the car or whatever.
The mailbox. Yeah, it was right there. Yeah.
Holy moly,
shit,
dude.
I remember that.
Coming
So
soon
what
to
we're
our
trying
YouTube
to
channel.
say is that we have experience with stop motion.
We
No,
got
I'm-
In nowhere near the
no,
same capacity.
No, I'm
All
totally
right, yeah,
joking. No,
okay.
But what I brought that up for is what I bet when you like watch the set happening, like of course it takes so much fucking time, but they're like fucking veterans at stop motion, and I bet they make it look fucking easy in comparison to like what we might think.
Yeah.
I know it still takes a lot of fucking time, but you know,
Well, that's the interesting thing about that show I was talking about on Disney Plus, not a sponsor. It's like the hill with the curve in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
They still have that. Like that is like a thing that
Yeah.
you can go and see. Like they kept the
Yeah,
monster.
they
so
have
fucking
they,
cool.
they have all the Coraline stuff too. I saw a couple of videos of there's actually a museum of where they
Oh,
keep
that's
Coraline
genius.
stuff. Yeah.
So cool.
But like that just shows you how much craft goes into these
Yeah.
movies. This is
Yeah, it's
the
amazing.
realest form
and
of art.
like I think it was James who mentioned there's 500 people. Like, how could they be getting paid? I feel like in some ways maybe it's one of those things where it's just like I could put this shit on my resume. Like I made. I mean, granted, you don't know if it's going to be a box office success or anything, but Henry Selick, he directed fucking, Nightmare Before Christmas, to work with him to be an animator. And granted, like, if you guys notice, if you watch the credits,
Yep.
the first people who go through the credits, all the animators.
That was so
are
cool. Yeah.
top. And I was like, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I
that they
didn't
did
notice that. I didn't notice that, and that's
Yeah.
big respect.
So to have that on your resume, to be like, I was part of this, that's cool in and of itself. Granted, they should still be paid well, but
yeah.
that's a whole other conversation. I don't know how well they were paid.
Okay.
But
or weren't paid.
people really love this stuff. Jacklyn follows somebody on Instagram who actually collects. So another Leica
Yeah.
Leica
whatever it is.
production is Kubo. If you haven't seen Kubo, I highly recommend it. I feel like it is the better version of the Disney Coco. It's a better.
Oh,
Better?
It's a-
okay.
I think it's better. I
Dude,
think it's
Coco
better
is so good.
It's Coco's okay, but I saw Cubo first, and it's literally almost the same story.
Is
Almost,
it a Mexican family or is it?
It's a Japanese family.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Wow.
it's got the weeb aesthetics. So of
So
course
you're biased. Yeah.
I'm a little biased here. So yeah, but Kubo, Jacklyn follows a Instagram artist who actually she buys a bunch of the like little dolls and stuff. Like she pays like
That's cool.
thousands
That's
of
really
dollars.
cool. That's
She
a cool
buys
thing
them-
to collect.
She buys them at auctions. I don't know. She does miniature
Mm.
ceramic stuff, I believe. But
Nice.
she's also an avid
Dude, what's
collector.
her Instagram? You can't just bring her up without giving her a shout out. Man.
Lisnacky, if you can plug it in the chat.
Okay,
Right
while
in
she's
there.
doing that, I want to just correct
Yeah.
what I was saying. 208,000 facial expressions over all the characters, which there weren't very many of them, but there was 6,333 just for Coral.
Wow.
Which I-
That's still a lot. I
If
mean,
you-
it's a
it's
big
a
enough
lot.
number to be like, that's a number that I can't comprehend, and like how much that.
Yeah,
even
because
looks like.
you were talking about the effect of the stop motion going away after a while. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just
That's-
my
that's a
mind
tip.
is so blown by this shit that I can't forget about it. Like the whole time she moves her face at all, I'm like, how many fucking like
There are times where
faces
it
was
comes
that?
back.
Like,
Like
oh my
anytime
God.
liquid is going somewhere or something,
Sure,
you can
yeah,
see it
yeah.
in liquids or whatever,
for sure.
But if what I meant by like it falls away is in a good way.
No,
I'm
I
not
know,
just
I know.
like, oh, I'm watching
Yeah,
this.
no, that's definitely a
No,
testament
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
how hard
Yeah.
everybody worked at this. Like If you eventually forget like what it is, because like you think about like, I don't know, what is it, Chicken Run or Chicken, right? Chicken Run?
Yeah.
No, Chicken or Run, Chicken Run?
Chicken Run,
Yeah.
What is that?
Chicken Run.
It's in the
like
style of
it's
Wallace and Gromit kind
yeah,
of shit.
Wallace and
Oh.
Gromit. Like that's very
Claymation, basically.
that's claymation, and that's very like
it's
see that, like the
I
mouth
didn't know it had
so
a
is
name.
moved, the mouth moves like that. It's like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's very noticeable. Not
It's
to
weird.
shit on that, because I love that movie.
There's a
too.
place for that too,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Similar
to
style.
tie it all together, I think it will be like a timeless thing forever. Like
think
people
so.
will watch this in 50 years and it'll still be cool. you know?
It doesn't age.
Yeah, compared to
terribly.
like the
Like,
first Toy Story, like, are you kidding me? This is gonna look good
Exactly.
forever compared to
Mhm.
that.
If you haven't seen the first Toy Story in a while, just watch some shit of it on YouTube.
The dog.
And even The Incredibles 1. You think, to me, The Incredibles sounds like it was relatively recent. Go watch the first one.
What
It's
year
not
Incredibles one?
5
you know?
years before this movie, I think. 2004, I want to say.
Incredible.
really, dude, it's rough.
And
The
those,
animation's
I mean,
rough.
yeah, but like, okay,
2004.
did
Yeah.
it take 4 years?
I'm
I'm sure it
don't know.
did.
Did
That's
it
like a
take
normal amount of time, isn't it?
500 people?
Wasn't it Toy Story like the first fully CG movie or something?
Yeah,
animated
full
movie,
length.
yeah.
3D, yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Okay, so we have talked a lot tonight about the art style and just the way that the movie looked. And I want to transition this conversation a little bit more to the story and the actual like writing. How are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about like the writing? James, I want to take it to you first. Do you think it was a good story? Where are you sitting with it?
I do. I think it was seeing this in the movies, right? Like I saw this in the theaters, and like I told you, I left the movie saying I fucking don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care about that. But the rewatch was surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good.
I think that this movie has a lot to dig deep in. I think it has a lot of stuff to unfold, and
Mhm.
there's definitely a lot of self-interpretation that you can get from the movie. And also, I'm kind of interested in seeing if you guys have any crazy fan
Fan
theories.
theories. Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
have
man.
any like crazy things that you think that's what's the real thing? What does the cat mean? What is
Yeah.
what does the other mom mean?
What are
What is-
the buttons and the eyes and what?
and I kind of feel a little bit sad that we're doing this on a Friday. I watched it last night.
Mhm.
Didn't get a little bit of marinating on this one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
This
I
is
don't
a
know.
this is
What
a
do you-
deep one. I mean, I feel like I would need to watch this movie again in like 6 months or something to like really like have some time away from it and then come back, because I do think that there's a lot in the story, and I would probably have to like read up on like people who wrote articles that are a lot smarter than I am about like crazy themes and stuff that I didn't really catch, or
Mhm.
because watching it the first time, I mean, we, again, so much of our conversation has just been about the art that I think that was kind of my main focus. I was trying to look at like the music and stuff, which I think was okay. I wasn't like blown away. There was no like crazy. Again, I hate to compare this to A Nightmare Before Christmas, but like that movie's got some fucking bangers. Like just like
I mean, it's a
amazing
musical,
music.
though, right? I mean,
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
there's a lot of music in this too. Like
I loved
But I
it,
feel
dude.
like I agree with Taryn. I feel like it was very atmospheric. It like
I don't know if there was anything that's just gonna like get stuck in my head and just make me tap my foot and be like, I mean, there's like that one it's Coraline. I don't even know other like
yeah.
Oh,
and then a lot of it too is what language? I was trying to figure out what language the other music is in. It's not Russian, is it? Like the songs in the beginning, it's in a completely different language. It's like German or
I
something.
feel like I read it was gibberish. Maybe that was a different movie I was
Is it?
reading. I mean, I'll look while you're talking. Keep going.
Dude, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
But
I
I'm
think
trying to
that
figure it out.
it doesn't have to like get stuck in your head to be good. You know what I mean? Like it can.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree
And
that
that's
it
not
was
that's not the
atmospheric.
focal point of this movie. Like
True.
it adds to the spooky atmosphere, which we can talk about. Is this movie scary?
This movie is 10 times scarier than Halloween 2007. Hot take. I was way more scared of this movie than I was. I'll catch our last episode of Halloween. I gave that movie a terrible score. I don't take it back. This movie was scarier. 100%. 100% was scary.
I think that the idea is interesting. That what they essentially, whether they sought out to this or not, it's like a horror movie for children in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is like a really interesting concept. Like, how do you go about making that? And like there was things that I think, and I like when movies do this when they throw in things for adults, that the kid, it's just gonna go right over the kid's head.
Yeah.
Like the way that her dad, that's not the other family or whatever, her real dad looks is how I feel after like a week of just grueling work, just a bullshit ass
Yeah.
week.
This was a topic that I wanted to get into. Like, so like, okay, well, first thing that he pointed on, this movie is not for kids, right? Like, this is I feel like this movie is for teenagers, right?
I think it's a
a
kids
young
movie.
Kids is a
know.
loose term. I'm not gonna show it to like my 1-year-old daughter, but maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I mean, okay, like what, 7 years old,
Yeah,
maybe?
something
Like,
like
I
that.
think, but this is definitely
Yeah.
like a coming of age story, right? Like, I think that's where kids can definitely resonate with the message of the story, right?
Yeah, well, it just totally factors in with like Coraline and her relationship with her parents. She's in that, she's in the like precipice of I'm starting to kind of resent my parents, right?
Yeah.
Like when kids go up into that like 7, 8, 9 years old, they still love their parents. And then once they get into that preteen area, right? I mean, I don't have kids, but this is just kind of a thing that they start to hate their parents. And that's where she is. And I think maybe that's the audience.
Which goes into the theory that Coraline, none of this existed, right? It's that Coraline is so shocked because she has been transplanted from where she was as her children, as a child being raised, right, into this new area where she doesn't know what's going on. And so she's still fantasizing about what it might have been like when she was younger, the parents that were there for her all the time. And as kids get older, you eventually see that your parents are fucking tired, right? Your parents are fucking
Yeah.
tired of you. You're tired of your shit, and they're out here grinding. They're on their laptop. They're on the fucking PC, dude, and you're over here just
Yeah.
being a little shit, right? Can we all agree that Coraline fucking sucks?
I
She's
I don't know about
terrible.
fucking stuff.
It's
She fucking sucks in the beginning of the movie, which was I'm gonna come back
It's like
later.
half and half, her and her parents. They both suck, kind of.
Yeah,
Like-
her parents aren't great either.
But
I mean,
but the things, but I think that there's a little
Make
bit
time
of
for your
her-
kids, dude. Come on.
yeah.
what I
when
will say
don't
is there's a
know if
little
I-
bit of
I don't know if I believe that it's her parents' fault. I think it's the fantastical like thoughts that children and teenagers have about life. They don't
Yeah.
realize the bigger picture. They're so stuck in their very like
In the now or whatever.
minute
yeah.
understanding of the world, right? Like her parents love her. The reason why they have bags under their eyes is because they're out here fucking grinding for her.
And
She
what I
doesn't-
really
she doesn't
quick
realize that. She doesn't
Yeah.
realize that.
really
And
quick
that's-
what
and
I'll
that's-
say is that like I feel like it's kind of from Coraline's perspective where she's like, look how bad my parents are in
Yeah.
her eyes, right?
Yeah, and so
to your point, yeah, they're grinding and it's for her.
Yeah, and I don't think that the parents are that as shitty as you would initially believe
As
them
they're
to be.
portrayed. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I buy into the none of the things that happened in this movie were real, right? It's I mean it's fantasy,
Sure.
but it's and that's what makes this movie great, because it's a change in Coraline's perspective of her parents and the
Mhm.
reality that she chooses to live in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right, we
think
need to
that's
take this to
interesting.
Jay, the only dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
honestly, your last 5 seconds of that tied it all up for me and made me think about it differently, and I was prepared to like shit on it
To
on
throw
all,
down.
but that is interesting, and I'm gonna lock that away for later on. But I think that
And
yeah,
and this is me talking as a non-dad, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, as a parent, it was interesting because like when the movie ended, me and Jordan were both just like, are we good parents? You know, because even though like
Oh, shit.
and our daughter is 10 months old, gonna be 10 months old this month. Like it's even though she's young, like especially in this time, like where it was relevant was like both her parents work from home, and she's just like trying to entertain herself and like bugging them.
Mhm.
And we've been there, like as parents working from home, even though we have help, like people will come and help us watch her and stuff. It's hard to like deny that there's distractions, and when you're in the you're deep in the weeds on something and you just get distracted by your kid or whatever, it's rough to be like, oh yeah, okay, it's like you get a little bit annoyed no matter
Yeah.
what. And so it was interesting to see that. But what I thought was what resonated more with me, I guess I'll say, is that the parents who had at some point a love for gardening, right, or this this thing that they had the love of the
Yeah.
game for was gone. They were
Yeah.
now like writing books. They mentioned that they haven't touched the garden in months. Like their whole life has, it was an interesting point where you cross the like, I found this thing that I really like doing. Oh, now I can get paid to like write a book about it or write this
Making
about it
your
or
hobby your
do
job
something
or
like
whatever.
that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and then the love of the game completely goes away. Like that's what got me. And when I saw the dad, I was like, yep, I feel that shit. Because there was a time where I write software for a living, and so there's a period of time where like software was really fun, and like, oh, I felt like, oh, you can do all this cool stuff, and there's all this
Yeah.
opportunity, and then you like get paid for it, and you're just like, yeah, I never want to, when I get off of work, I don't even want to look at a computer anymore. Like it completely shifts. So that's what resonated for me, and at the same time, having those thoughts and being like, well, you have to keep grinding it out for your daughter, and then having your daughter be like, am I being this dad working too much, trying to take away from this time that she just wants to have in the now, which I think is a good thing. We should all focus more on the now. I don't think that we do that enough, as a
Right.
society,
Mhm.
especially with things like social media. I'm not going to get into that, but that whole sphere of like ideas really hit home for me just in a different way. But I can 100% appreciate and understand your take of the daughter changing the way that she is seeing the world, which is like, it makes the movie good, but it's not a good thing. Like I hate that our kids have to grow up and then realize like, oh, life is not like this fun, shiny unicorns and rainbows all the time. Like it sucks sometimes. You have to really buckle down and get some shit done. And
But also, I think
living.
it has a little bit of beauty in it, because she wasn't very appreciative of the things that were around her, right? Like
Yeah.
until she went into this other world,
Yeah,
it made her realize that, you know what, all these kind of crazy people, it's I don't know, it kind of reminds me of just like how when you're growing up, you don't take advantage of the people around you that have so much knowledge and information.
Yeah.
And she goes into this other world, and then she all of a sudden she's very loved by all these sort of crazy people. But when
yeah,
she comes back, then she has a changed perspective. She, like those two crazy sisters, like who, like, like it just reminds me of, like, I don't know, I was never close to my grandmother who passed away. My grandmother who's alive, I never talked to her. Like, it kind of makes me think about, like, we don't get a chance to tap into these people that just have so many crazy stories and so many different
Yeah.
things, because
yeah,
we're so fucking wrapped up in our own world. And I feel like that was just like Coraline. She's so wrapped up in her, and she's very adolescent. And then, like, and it's weird because it kind of makes me think about like I'm adolescent, I'm not thinking about like, like shit, man. Like I could talk to my dad about more things. I could talk to my mom about more things that like they went through, like just not tapping into those lifelines, like those
Yeah.
different perspectives, and that's I don't know, that's what like resonated with me, and I don't know, that wasn't like a big thing, but it was just like in the movie that wasn't like a big thing, but that made me think of that. Like I was just like,
Right. Well, and
you
I
know,
think to quantify that is the second half of the movie. What I noticed, when you said that Coraline had this change of, her appreciation for what she has, like the parents also do a swap, and they start gardening again, and they start
yeah,
getting back into it, which
They
I
buy
think
her
is
the gloves that she had
but
Yeah.
wanted.
but
And
also
yeah.
in a
equally
weird,
as important as rediscovering
yeah,
why you got into that game in the first place.
in
Like
go ahead.
it's just like I think that for me, where I am in my life currently, it's like I've found the point where I really liked a thing, which was like computers growing up, did all kinds of weird shit, crazy shit, played a bunch of games, did whatever. And then you get into it like as a profession, and it's like, okay, there's this other side, they're still cool, they're still fun. But then you hit a point where you're just like, do I even like this anymore? Like, am I just doing it because it's a job? And it gets hard. And I think like the next step for me is like, how do I find a way to love computers again? You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Mhm.
in some ways, it's this. It's hanging out with you guys. It's doing the podcast. It's getting on
Yeah.
video,
Yeah,
because it's a lot of people don't know, like, if they want to do that thing, if they want to start that podcast, like, how do you do that? How do you make that happen already, by default? And then how do you make that happen in a world where we're going remote first across the board,
Yeah.
and we have these tools, and we've used these tools for a long time, so we're more comfortable. But a lot of people aren't, and I take that for granted a lot. Like the ability to
Yeah.
true.
manipulate a computer essentially is like a big deal,
Yeah,
and we use it every Saturday at 9:30, Twitch TV.
Friday.
Tumblr.
It's Friday, bro. I'm just
It's
kidding.
Friday today, but
Yeah.
usually,
Or to find
and we
us.
do it every weekend,
Yeah,
and it's
and it's a weird in the movie. It's like weird. It's the only thing that kind of hurts about the parents' transition is that it's once they got the bag, right?
What
Once
do you
they
mean?
got once they got their big deal, right? They sold the magazine or whatever.
yeah,
That's
Oh,
that,
right.
I feel like
that's once that was the thing that changed them, is that hey, we made the money, we're good now. Like
yeah.
we worked, and now
You can
we
go back
changed,
to this.
which we can go back to what we were doing before. Now we have the time, which kind of hurts, right?
It hurts.
It's kind of
Yeah.
it's a bittersweet thing, I think.
I mean, if you want to get real into the weeds, like that itself could be a commentary on like modern society and how we
Yeah,
all, have
yeah,
to make money to survive and all that shit. Like but when you do hit that point, like, and I think that's what kind of drives everybody is they want to move up the ladder. They want to get to the point where like, hey, you can reach this point where you make enough to do whatever you want again.
yeah.
And like,
And
yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
and
Like,
and it's like, what did you sacrifice along the way? Like,
yes.
irreparable damage to your child.
Exactly. And if you're not like Coraline, who's living in the moment every moment, you lose a lot of that time. That's the sacrifices. You miss out on a
Dude,
lot.
that
And
hurt.
before you know it, you're like, what did here I am years later. Like, was it worth it? It just depends. For some people, it could be.
Yeah.
But I came in, I think, in my head with like a not lower score, but a decently middle of the pack score. But the fact that it's making us talk about all these things is like making me appreciate the movie more.
Yeah, and
No, I'm right there with you.
these were the things that I want to talk about. We were gonna have a special guest. I was gonna have Jacklyn come on the show, but
Oh,
she had
sweet.
We're going to, or are going to?
I wanted to. She didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh man.
Oh,
She had a lot of good stuff to say about this movie.
Yeah.
I thought would have sparked some conversations, but
Yeah.
no,
I mean, that's just
these were
it's
the
a
things
very
that me and Jacklyn were talking about, and
yeah.
that's what I wanted to bring happening here.
And I think what I will say, like, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, it's there is a whole lot to talk there about, like, just your career and about money and about like how much money is enough money and where are you on that, like, the hedonic treadmill of happiness, right? Like, where are you going to find happiness? And I mean, they do so many studies on it, and it is not like directly just tied to this movie. So, you know, this movie brought up that conversation, but I can't say that, like, oh, like, this movie is nailing that, like, completely. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's so
I
much
agree.
more there to talk about that I think we're adding to it that this movie didn't completely bring out. And, like, it's not a
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna
Taryn,
say
go.
I was completely enthralled by your guys' conversation. That was amazing. But like I barely thought about that.
Mhm.
I didn't think about any of that until the end when they were like free to do whatever they want kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it was like where I kind of got it is like in that section of their life they're like working hard to get past. Once they got past it, everything was fine, you know, and it like could have been a short amount of time, whatever. That's all I really thought about that much for that. But what the hell were you just talking about? I already forgot.
Yeah, so
I
like
think it's an interesting perspective of where we are in our age group, right? 27, 28 years old, around there at this time. We're in a pandemic, which has been going on for a long fucking time, like 8 months plus. 8 months, 7 months that we know of,
Too
as
long.
told by our government.
Yeah.
long time.
Longer than that. And you know, we're at this like point in life where like people start to figure out, like, are they gonna start a family? Are they gonna have a career? Are they, you know, it's all this weird shit that kind of like I don't want to say defines, because I feel like you can change your life at any point, but like it does set in motion the pace at which your life is gonna proceed from, you know. And so to have all of that be brought out or wrapped up in this way by watching this movie, which has almost nothing to do with any of this, right? Like, really, this is very much a sidebar piece of the plot.
Mhm.
But the fact that that is the way that we have all brought this up and talked about it is like really interesting. Like, this is just where we are right now at this current moment. Like, we are being Coraline right now ourselves. We're being forced to look at this, you know.
It looks like we have a challenger approaching. Is Jacklyn, she decided to come on? While we wait for that. Oh, you just muted.
Jacklyn's decided to join the conversation.
Welcome, Jacklyn.
Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so weird.
If you want to take Taryn, disable non
It's not letting me.
viewers.
I'm trying.
You got
dude. Clicking it like 8 times, nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing.
We could hear from your mic, right? Can we
Yeah,
just-
she's gonna be using my mic. She's listening to you guys on Discord in her AirPods.
Okay.
It doesn't work. Oh well.
Pause for
No,
1 second. Pause for 1 second. There we go. There we go. We're good now.
Got it?
We
Okay,
got it?
wait.
Are we good?
We're good.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
we can.
Great.
All right. Well, this is my first time on the show.
Welcome.
I'm Jacklyn.
Welcome. Yeah. Jacklyn, everyone.
Well, I love this movie. There's a big echo in my earpod.
Yeah,
Is that-
you're probably gonna hear yourself a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, sorry.
You can
guys.
take them out if you just want to like free riff and just talk. It might
Yeah.
make it easier for you so you don't have to hear it as much.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I really liked about this movie is
Is she on the stream on her phone?
they have to stay
She's
on.
not. She's on Discord. She's
Wait,
on-
Oh
really?
yeah, I don't think
Weird.
she needs to be. Like, if you could just
Yeah,
do
you
it
get
through
to
your mic, we hear it through your
To
mic.
hear what you guys say.
Yeah.
Share the
Mm.
Oh,
Share the headphones somehow.
it was not well planned.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's
We're
fine,
running
it's
with
fine.
it.
Don't worry about it. Throw it on speakers.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
You can hear.
let Jacklyn take over.
Can you hear?
James, we've heard enough of about what you have to say. Let's hear what Jacklyn has to say.
Oh, turn off
Or-
speaker,
Oh, no.
James. I think it'll be fine.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, this
Perfect.
is so much better.
So much better. Jacklyn,
All
it's yours. We've heard enough from your husband. He's on the show all the fucking time. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I actually wrote a paper about
Can
this
you hear?
in English 101.
Really? That's
In
so
college.
cool. That's so cool.
I couldn't find it because I think I got a bad grade on it, so it's not on the
Uh,
USB.
Oh,
Not on the refrigerator anymore.
It's not. It's not. Well, you guys already touched on a lot of subjects, but what I wanted to talk about was I think Coraline just brings, I don't know, when James was saying she's kind of like a bratty little girl, and then you guys kind of talking about parenthood, and that really like made me think a lot because I don't necessarily think that Coraline's parents were bad parents. I guess it looks like it in the movie just because she's getting, I guess you would say, I read a lot of the fan fiction stuff on Reddit. Like she's like borderline. People were saying she was getting abused, and I don't think she's
Oh my
getting
God.
abused. So I don't
Okay.
really agree with a lot of the fan fiction on Reddit
Yeah.
or like the fan theories.
do they come
But-
from the book, do you think? Or is it purely the movie?
I don't know.
Because
I
the
didn't read
movie,
the
I
book.
don't, there's no way that you could get that from the movie, I feel like. Right?
You'd be surprised.
I
But
didn't
yeah.
read the book. But what is the author's name? Peter? Was it Peter?
Oh,
Neil
it's Neil
Neil
uh,
Gaiman.
Gaiman?
Right?
Gaiman.
Gaiman?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't read the book, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like the parallel between like in the beginning of the movie, they talk about how there's 14 doors. Like her dad's like, count the doors in the house, and there's actually only 13 doors that they can go through, and the extra door was the little like rabbit hole door.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I think that little plays a big role in like, and you guys seen Alice in Wonderland, like the girl falls through the rabbit hole.
Right.
And I thought that was a little interesting how they brought
Yeah.
that in. But I don't know. I just really like the movie. And another thing that I wanted to bring up is the let me think. You know how I guess as we're young and we're little, we're kind of scared of spiders. The other
Yeah.
mother depicts kind of this spider-like
Arachnid
villain.
thing. Yeah.
And her like legs kind of look like needles, and that's why she's threading all of these kind of like voodoo-ish dolls.
Threading these lies.
Lies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like watching her transformation. At first, I thought she kind of looked like a praying mantis, which is interesting because it's kind of like I feel like she goes from just being this other mother that's kind of a little bit creepy, and then she goes into this praying mantis, which is kind of like a neutral creepy kind of thing. Because praying mantises are also like throughout the film, and then at the end, it's just like full blown spider, and it's kind of like her transition into just how terrifying she is at
That
the
spiderweb and
other
shit.
mother.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
About like being a part of like the prey, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like spiders are very prey-like
Predator.
Predator like, yeah, and they hunt,
predators,
you know, they
predators, right?
yeah.
So they spin this web, and they spin this web of lies, which is basically the entire other
Mhm.
door, right? It's a bunch of lies. It's like it's something that doesn't exist.
Right.
It's something that like could possibly exist, which is really interesting with the
Mhm.
whole spider thing.
Yeah.
The entire web sequence at the end of the movie is just top
It
notch.
was really well done. Yeah, the
Crazy.
whole vibration thing that they do is
Oh,
she
yeah.
loses her eyes. Oh, it's so cool. So
Yeah.
cool.
I think
That's
that
solid.
I'm really glad that you brought up the Alice in Wonderland connection because this movie made me think of a bunch of different things. Like
Mhm.
whether they came out after or before or whatever. Alice in Wonderland was definitely one. I
Lion the
think
Witch and Wardrobe.
oh,
That's
I
fun.
didn't think about that.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought there was a hint of Us with the two
That's what I thought. I wrote down.
Holy
I
shit.
wrote down in my notes "us vibes."
Yeah, me
Nice.
too. I said Us vibes question mark. It's on the precipice of that. I think Meow Wolf. There's a little bit of Meow Wolf-ness to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
For those of you listening that don't live in New Mexico or don't know what Meow Wolf is, have never been, it's basically a immersive art installation where they have like similar things to like the door where it opens a tunnel to this other world. It's like a similar experience.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then I thought that in specifically the scene where the two what do you want to call them, sisters or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The actress.
They
Oh,
were,
yeah.
in the carnival scene, it felt like that could have been like a source filmmaker video on YouTube, you know?
Sure,
Like
yeah.
where it's really weird and crazy and insane, and it could have been in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the last thing that it made me think of was like this is a bit of like a crazy acid trip kind of style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many things are happening. All of it is weird, but it was really cool.
Okay, but did you get any? Wait for it. Did you get any running scared in here?
Oh,
Nope. Did not. Did
Hey,
not.
Alice in
No.
Wonderland. What do you call it? What's where they set the little
claw
candy
thing?
trail? Just
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm telling you, man, running scared.
I got
I got
when
Wizard
the
of Oz. Is that
dude,
where you're
they-
going?
okay, when the Predators brought little Oleg Yagorski into the fucking thing, they made it seem like everything was all cherry and fine, just like fucking Coraline, guys.
Sure.
Come on.
got
To
that.
be fair,
I'm coming
yeah.
back, baby.
Okay.
Oh shit.
There's a lot of like
Every
predator
episode.
like aspect to the other mother. Like she's like the spider who's like
Yeah.
attacking her prey and building this world. Like spiders build like
Yeah,
their
yeah.
beds. And I
Yeah.
thought that was very interesting how they kind of connected that to stitching and the dolls and all of that. I thought that was
Oh
really
wow, I never think about that. Like the spider, the silk of the spider versus
Dude, yeah.
thread.
The first scene
Oh,
of the
man.
movie, man. It's so cool.
Is yeah, and that I love how it draws back to like seeing those needly hands in the first opening scene threading, like creating Coraline.
scared, guys.
Yes, and
Scared.
seeing the silhouette from Running Scared.
Oh,
God
shit.
damn, I hate that movie. We're
Running
not.
scared, man. You guys
Oh,
didn't give it a
man.
chance.
Oh, jeez.
That's funny. I
yeah,
feel like
no.
the biggest connection I got was Wizard of Oz. Because it's
Hmm.
like
Okay.
all she's doing is taking everything she has for granted, and she fucking gets teleported to some other shit and hates it, goes back and it's fine. You know what I mean? Very similar in my
interesting.
mind. It's-
Yeah,
To me-
I could see that.
That it was what I couldn't decide was like, was it a dream every time?
I don't
Like,
think so.
I feel like no. I feel like I don't think so.
yeah, but it was just a weird way that like she escaped that world. You know?
And see, that's
Sure.
that's why you get those fan theories that are just like, this is just a prepubescent girl who's just kind of being dramatic about life. She's stuck between the fantastical and reality. Like she's just she this whole thing, this whole other universe is like her childhood kind of escaping her a little
Sure.
bit.
And that's one thing that I wanted to
Where
kind of.
she's just trying to get to terms with reality. You have another thing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's like another, you guys were talking about it's like an escape for her from her real life. That's not true because her, I guess, like other tenants that live with her, they're old, and in her
The
when
other
she goes
world.
into in her
Yeah.
other world that she goes into, she sees that the two British ladies, they're like burlesque dancers, and that's what they were probably in their youth. Then
Right.
she sees that what's his name, Mr. Bobinsky.
Bobinsky, yeah.
Babinski, yeah, he trains circus rats, and that's so. I think she's seeing her actual reality in reality, but she doesn't realize it. So
Yeah. And I think that's like important to note that we don't follow Coraline for very long with her parents. It's what, a day, maybe 2 days, where you see her parents being like quote unquote bad, neglectful parents. And once Coraline has this realization, this like transition where she is starting to appreciate her parents more, it turns into like, oh, now her parents are great. So maybe again, our perspective is from Coraline's, and we're just watching it through her lens, where now that she's had this new understanding that maybe her parents aren't so bad. Like, they're busy sometimes, but they also do care about her, and it's her kind of realizing that as transferring into young adulthood.
Yeah, and I
like
think
that.
that's another thing that can tie back to like being a parent now. Like even if you have like one day that like something happens or you feel like you weren't there enough, like it lingers with you, you know?
Yeah.
Which given like the circumstance of the movie, yeah, we maybe saw a day or two of interaction between all these.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that shit, it lasts, and like you know, it's just weird. It's weird to see it laid out in this way for parents and for kids. Like, you know, here it
Yeah.
all is. The kids is just gonna go right over there, and the parents are gonna sit here and dwell on these things, and that like it's I don't know, it's more powerful that way to me. Like I don't know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's not it's a movie for kids, but it's not just for kids. And like anybody should watch this. I think it's
Oh,
a great
absolutely.
to be
Yeah.
present in the moment, you know, amongst other things. But like as much as you can, try to be here now, you know.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Like all great animation, it's for everyone, bro.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the adder stone? That little stone that had the
Oh,
hole
I
in it
heard
that
like
helped her?
triangle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is
apparently
that?
I guess it comes from Egypt and Europe. Like archaeologists found it. It's like snake serpent saliva that has a
Saliva?
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has like a hole in it, but it helps her. I guess back in the day they used it as like a good luck charm. So I guess that's why those British women
Ah.
gave it to her as a good luck charm. So
Well, it was
thought-
interesting because they were saying that it's both to find something that you lost and to like prevent bad things, right? Is that what they were saying? Like both of those things. Both of those women, the burlesque girls, were like fighting over what it was for. And it was
which
like it was kind of like it was
about
both,
burlesque
right?
women, right? Because like the burlesque women were sort of kind of the devil and angel on your shoulder, right? Like one was telling you the bad omen, one was telling you the good omen, right? Which was like another
sure.
like another rabbit hole you could totally go down,
Yeah.
but like right.
But yeah, again, it's like one and the same. You know, they're telling the same kind of story, I think, in some ways.
I don't know if
But
they outright said it, but I took the stone to be like this thing will reveal the truth to you. You know, like it will
yeah,
be of deceit. Which I thought was cool. Like it was it always confused me because when she like drops the bag of the eyes and the eyes like roll out, they're like different things, like a shifter and shit like that.
yeah, they're
And
like Horcruxes or some shit. It's like
Exactly.
yeah,
eyes are they just objects?
Harry Potter.
Harry
yeah.
Potter. It was really interesting, and I think it's that whole like, you know, the idea that like, you know, and I don't know how deep you want to go here, but like the idea of having something, right, whether it's physical or not, that like just gets you through the chaos, like you know, it gives you a way to see through all the bullshit, however you want to phrase that, you know, that existing even for a kid, like I think it's super interesting, like
Like a
maybe
physical manifestation of strength and courage, and like having
or
that.
of like wisdom or of knowledge or of faith, you know, it could be all these things, like just getting you through this like crazy twisted demented world or whatever you want to call it. Like that was cool, and I think it for kids, I think that will again will go right over their head, kind of like a throwaway thing, like this is how they find the souls or whatever, right, the eyes. But I think it holds deeper connotations for, you know, the rest of us.
How many eyes do spiders have?
8.
8, right?
Was there?
Oh wait, or is that their legs? They have 8 legs.
Isn't it both? Or
How many
no?
eyes do they have?
Also eyes?
Oh shit!
I don't know. Just wondering. Just could
16
be
eyes?
a nice Easter egg where the other mother has her own 2 eyes, plus the other 6 eyes of the children that she stole. Right?
They have 8 eyes.
Whoa.
Spiders have 8 eyes. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay. So 8 eyes right there.
okay.
Nice.
interesting.
8 eyes.
Interesting.
Right?
Good.
Because wasn't there 3 children she took eyes from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the quick maths.
Quick math. Numbers.
8
Yeah.
plus 8 is.
Um,
I'm just kidding.
16 minus 4 is yeah.
1 plus
Man,
1 plus 2 is quick
I
maths.
think I don't know. There's so many other rabbit holes that we can go into on this movie. We didn't even touch on the cat. You know, like such a like that was my favorite character, honestly, the cat, because I do want to touch on it for a little bit. So like the cat, you know, it's a black cat, and at first it's kind of like this antagonist kind of character. It's hissing and it's just like really evil, but it turns into this like weirdly kind of chaotic neutral type character where it's not like necessarily on Coraline's side. It's not against her for sure, but it just throws it around so much. And I think that it was such a fun character to just see in both worlds, in the world where the cat could talk and could not talk.
Yeah.
Really interesting, really fun.
That was a cool I don't even know what to call it. It's not really a twist, but like because all of the other characters in the other were physical changes, the cat was like a
Yeah, vocal change.
ability change. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
didn't get the button eyes that the dogs did and shit.
exactly. And it was,
Interesting.
when he started talking, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's a cool idea. I didn't realize it was Keith David, which makes it even cooler.
Oh,
Oh man.
way fucking cooler, dude. And then there was so many cool things that the cat, like the cat was also still very mystical, like the whole tree trunk where it would put its head in and its head would come
Dude,
on the other side.
Alice
And
in Wonderland.
In the end where the cat, it's like the pink palace
The
apartment
sign.
Yeah.
sign, it walks across and disappears. I was like, this movie's fucking cool. Like this is just a cool movie. Like that's so
Yeah.
awesome. Like
And I feel like that is so okay. Touching back to what I was saying earlier about how I think it influenced or is related to a lot of other things that either were before or after. The cat, Alice in Wonderland, Cheshire Cat, that kind of shit. But also like a little bit of like a spirit guide, a little bit of like
Yeah.
Guardian.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Somebody who knows a little bit more than the rest of us in both worlds, right? They've maybe been here before, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, he can slip in and out of both worlds. I mean, I think they make that clear, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's also, he doesn't like fully have a motive. Like he's not trying to make Coraline win or lose kind of thing. He's just throwing in extra things.
Which makes his random disappearance at the end kind of weird. Remember when he like kind of shifts into the sign? Like
Yeah, I was just mentioning that, how it's just, it's so good. It's so well done. And I think that, I mean, the cat's the best character. Like it's just the best character hands down. It's so cool.
I
you
think
don't
I
like
need to
the
look at-
Russian, the Russian.
Oh, I love him.
Babinski, he's so fucking cool too.
Have you guys
That dude-
seen
I
John
love-
Wick?
Oh,
You
what?
guys, John
The
Wick?
actor?
No. Have you guys just seen John Wick?
Oh, I've seen the
Oh.
first one.
The guy who like runs the Continental Hotel? That's that guy, dude.
That's Babinski.
Yeah.
That's the
So
actor?
random. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Holy shit. Oh boy. Yeah, we've been talking for well over an hour about all of this. And
Yeah,
again,
yes.
we can go into so many other things about this movie. It's a deep movie. It's complex, and I'm kind of sad that I've only seen it once, and this is my first. I feel like I can't pay this movie enough. Like I can't pay this movie the credit that I think that it deserves.
I feel the same way, and I feel like I'm gonna inflate my score because
Me
of it.
too.
To get there.
Yeah, and then like it goes back to like
the conversation here tonight.
yeah,
What's
it
that?
just like what's that, James?
Are you gonna you're gonna inflate the review because of the conversations?
Yeah, 100%.
It feels like it, yeah. And I think like it's gotten to this point where it's just like we just love animated movies. Like we just
I'm
like,
telling you,
can't
dude.
get enough of them.
It's my
Underrated.
birthday. I'm feeling a little giving today, guys. I'm like,
Oh.
Dude, that's
Oh,
I'm giving stuff.
the
oh
holiday.
no. We're gonna get
I think
let's
there's
can we go ahead.
two
Jay.
quick things to relate it back to things that exist now. Okay, first one, the ring, because of the well and how they throw it down the well at the end. A little bit ringy. And then the other one is shit, what was it? Oh, Insidious, because of the other and the further. It's kind of the same concept.
Damn, I don't remember.
Yeah, go back, watch Insidious. It's similar.
Okay.
Yeah, just want to throw those out because it's interesting. That it's, plant the seed.
Mhm.
All right. I think we can jump into ratings. Is that okay with everyone? Can we go straight there? I would love to get Jacklyn's rating too. Like
Me too.
a rating from Jacklyn and a rating from James. Who would like to go first? I don't know if I want to throw all the pressure on Jacklyn right away. I could go first if anyone else is.
Do it.
Do it,
I'll
baby.
take
Do
it
it.
over. All right. So this
Yeah.
movie was just a complete joy to watch. I think, when I was first going into it, I was like, okay, stop motion. I know the art's going to be really cool. It's going to be great. And I was a little bit concerned as I was maybe halfway through the movie, where I was like, is this movie only relying on the fact that it has great art style? Is that the only thing that this movie can bring? But having this conversation, and I think, you know, we added maybe more to it than, I don't know. It's just such a deep, complex range of topics that this film brought out, which is what you want. That's like what you want in art, in film. Like you want to be able to have these types of conversations, and we 100% did. We've been talking for over an hour now, and we still have more to say. I know we do, but you know, I think to take away maybe some small things, maybe a little nitpicky. The music I wasn't completely wild about, you know. There was, you know, little times where I was like, is this story just played out? Like, have I seen this other times in other kinds of films? But I mean, all in all, it was great. What I do love, somebody mentioned, I can't remember who, but is this a horror movie for kids? Who said that?
That was me.
Jay, yeah. And like I was kind of like kind of, right? Like this is kind of a there was the cinematography, like the actual shots, that there's certain points where Coraline is like walking through hallways and it's ominous and it's scary. And I'm like, this is a scary movie, you know, for this age group for sure. And for that alone, I mean, it's so fun. It's so great. I recommend this movie to anyone. I have to keep the Fumblerverse vision alive and rate this movie at a 9.1.
Oh,
Oh
What?
shit!
That's so
9.1.
Holy! Whoa!
Damn.
can I go next?
Poggers, dude.
Go, Jay.
All right.
Go.
Jay, take it
Okay.
over.
I Jordan in the chat said, Jay went in not loving this, now he's going. I love that I'm going over this movie. Like
Yeah.
I came into it thinking maybe it's in the realm of like a 6 or 7. And as we've talked about it, like you said, we basically have not touched the movie itself in its plot or anything, like almost at all. Like very, very little. In relation to our other shows, right? Like it's very, very just side rails and all this crazy conversation. Like that's any piece of art, whether it's film, whether it's, painting, music, any of that shit, when you can do that, like that is successful, right?
Yeah.
It didn't at that point, like to me, it doesn't even matter how it begins, how it ends. Like if you bring these conversations up, you have done your job. Like that is
Yes.
amazing. So the fact that we arrived there tonight, I think it really it holds a place in my heart that I didn't think it would. Maybe I wasn't sure that I needed, but here it is. It's amazing. It's a great movie. I would love to revisit it again. I think
Mhm.
because it was my first viewing, I missed a lot of things. I'd love to go back, check it out. For me, I came in, like I said, 6 or 7. I'm gonna say 9.2.
Ooh,
One up there, Adrian.
9.2. All right.
So
Who
okay,
wants to go?
I can
Terran.
go next. But clarification,
Clockwise.
you're saying at the end of the movie you were thinking 6 or 7.
Just not like directly
I'm saying like
though,
after you watched it, or you were going into it with the feeling.
yeah, coming into the show, I was at a 6 or 7
Wow,
range.
that's insane. That's crazy.
Huge.
Wow. Okay. I was so fucking hyped that Jacklyn picked this movie. So thank you for that. I had never seen it, and I've been wanting to watch it. Like I love animated movies, like stop motion particularly. Like the creativity that goes into these fucking movies, this blows my mind, dude. I can't even comprehend making a movie like this. Like you said, 500 people worked on this. Like that is some dedication, man. I fucking love it so much. Like the vibes in this movie are so goddamn cozy. I was like, we were talking before the show, I watched a bunch of scary movies over the last weekend, and like this was such a nice palate cleanser that was in the same vein as those.
It has those elements still, yeah.
I wouldn't say like this movie is scary itself, but like the vibes are on point and I love it. I don't know, man. You guys brought out a lot more than I ever would have thought of. Like, holy fucking shit. Like
That's Jacklyn, baby. She brought all kinds of crazy shit in my mind. I was like, let's go. Let's go there.
Let's go.
Like I was just obsessed with the craft the whole time. I was like, this is dumb. Like it's just crazy. I couldn't get over it. So I didn't really think too much into it. And like James was saying, I watched it last night, so I didn't have much time to think about it like that. But shit, man. Like just to shout out a couple things I saw in the making of. They like went to the store, like, oh, look at this dog toy. It looks kind of cool. They cut it open. They put like flowers in it and like pushed it up, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to make it look like it was moving. I'm just like, it's so creative, dude. And like they had like these crazy mechanical like lever things that they would spin, like this big old mechanical thing that they would spin, and on the top there's like 3 blades of grass just moving. Like all of that work just into that, dude. It was like, holy shit, man. Like that's where my mind was the whole fucking time. So I don't know. Like on the surface it was a good enough story. It didn't make me want to go deeper. Like, and it's not a bad thing. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. So I'll say 9.0. Solid.
Nice.
Solid fucking movie, dude.
Solid 9.
Okay.
All right. James and Jacklyn, who wants to take it over first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
All right, guys. So I picked this movie because I usually pick movies that I do like or I think are very interesting.
Yeah.
So I've seen this movie, I would say 5 times. This is my 5th time watching it.
Nice.
I rate the movies with you guys in my own mind. So this movie was quite high already. But like Jay said, there are a lot of things that we didn't talk about and a lot of things that we possibly can talk about and revisit later on. And as Terrence said, it's beautiful. And James said it, you guys, there are 500 people who made this movie. So there was a lot of craft and thought and a lot of planning behind it. So another thing I wanted to touch on before I give my score is that the buttons they use on the eyes, I think is very interesting because like the eyes kind of like relate back to the soul. And so in my eyes, I give this movie a 9.6.
Whoa, dude.
Wow.
9.6 was it?
9.6.
Let's go.
That's nice.
You
9.6.
guys already know that's
Hall of
Yeah,
Fame
we're
for
going
sure,
James
dude.
would have to give this. James would have to give this an
Fame.
economically terrible score.
Dude, would a 1 even take it out? I don't know. I don't know.
wouldn't
Maybe
know.
not.
I know. Yeah. Should I just give it a 1? Just like
Just
we're
to see how
gonna,
the numbers
we're gonna go. What is it? Price is right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna price of rights here. Right?
Jesus.
Yeah. Echoing a ton of shit that everybody here is saying. I don't know. I'm feeling generous today just because it's my birthday. I'm just feeling like, you know
11.
what?
No.
I want
boy.
something. I want this to go Hall of Fame. I think it already hit the Hall of Fame with your guys' scores. I'm right. Obviously, nothing I can do can stop it. But yeah, this movie definitely surprised me. Like I saw this movie in theaters, guys. Like
That was 11 years ago, dude.
I
That's
remember
insane.
specifically not being impressed. Like I'm just like fucking okay. I don't know. Maybe because I was like Coraline. I was just a little fucking
Yeah, and now you don't even have theaters. You didn't know what you had back then.
sorry, we're getting
You
a
were
little
like
bit of
Coraline.
feedback here.
You
You
were
didn't know what
lucky
you had
like
until it was
Coraline.
gone.
Yeah, I didn't know what I had till it was gone. And yeah, but man, the craftsmanship is it's insane. It's insane. 500 people worked on this, which kind of makes me ding it a little bit.
Oh my
You
god.
think it's sus?
I
Okay.
think it's sus. I'm just like, how can 500 people be doing something? I just don't believe in 500
All right,
people.
can I give
I
you a
don't know-
stat from the
I don't know
Wikipedia?
why. I just what is everyone fucking doing? I don't believe in it. I don't know. I just something in my inner depths believes that 500 people can't. Like
James, it took them 4 years to make this incredible movie, and I've been 4 years out of college, and I've done nothing. So come on,
Okay,
that's
it's-
like kind of
it's a
you gotta-
10. I'm just kidding.
Oh!
No, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, all right. That was very weird because, I mean, I'm used to hearing her, but I can hear her in the. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm just okay. 500 people. I'm just like, okay, like, it's just, I don't know. Okay, the story itself. Okay, so you have 500 people, and then the story itself, on the surface level, can you believe that you get 500 people to back it? Which is kind of like interesting, right?
Dude, you hire a guy to paint a fucking piece of clay. They're not gonna give input on the story. What the fuck?
100%.
But like you want, okay, maybe I'm not an artist, and so you work for whatever you fucking can get, right? You're not gonna believe in,
Yeah,
maybe
it's a
you're
big
not
movie.
Jesus,
It's probably
maybe you're not a
gonna
Jesus
back.
believer, but you go and put up a big old cross somewhere and painting Jesus all over the place. Okay, all right. Okay, I don't know. I'm just trying to be the guy that's just trying to, let's ding this bitch. Let's get this. Let's get some lower scores here. Adrian's like, I'm empty here. I need another drink. Just wrap this show up. I was very enthralled with our conversation. I felt like, no offense to Adrian and Taryn, I felt like me and Jay were just talking alone with
No,
each
I
other.
wasn't. I wasn't about to interrupt that, bro. I was
No,
like,
We're going at it.
I know, but I
Karen
felt,
brought a lot of stuff up.
yeah,
So
I
did
know.
Adrian.
I know, but I felt like for a moment there, like I was just like, are we
no,
gonna
it was
cry?
good. It was
Are
good.
we crying? Are we like?
Not any of our shows are all
Right.
about-
I was like, I'm not even a dad. I was like, I feel for you. Like, I was like, I don't know. Anyways,
Well, dude, my mom in the
But-
chat, I was like, oh shit.
yeah,
Oh
your
no.
mom was like, damn, the shit's getting real, yo. With that being said, it's feeling like a generous Friday. My initial score was an 8.8, but this is a solid 9.0.
What the
Let's
fuck? That's
Wow.
exactly what happened to me, dude.
9 coming out.
8.8 turned into a 9. What the
Let's go,
fuck?
baby.
45.9 divided by 5 people. All right, that brings us to a collective 9.18. So, of course,
Animation
this
undefeated, dude.
animation is undefeated. Goes under the Film Fumblers Hall of Fame. For those of you who don't know what that is, any film that is rated above a collective 9 goes in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to find out some way to pay homage to those great movies that we've reviewed. But we would love to know what you guys think about this movie. Where does it sit? You know, what kind of rating do you think that this movie really deserves? And, you know, we would just love to hear all of that. A special thanks to Jacklyn, who joined in halfway through the show. Jacklyn, thank you for joining the show. Where can people
Yeah.
find more of what's your Instagram and
my
stuff? I don't know.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, my Instagram is now less snacky. I changed it like
Less
2 days
snacky.
ago. So if you guys want to go look at some old art, hit me up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
She's also working on another Instagram called Lemons, LEH_MONS.
No. It's LEHMONS 3 underscores because that name has been taken by a lot of people.
Oh, sorry.
But talk about that later.
But she's going to
It's
be
okay.
working on wallets, ceramics, textiles,
Whatever.
whatever
Something
she wants to do.
Yeah,
but
we'll tag both of those pages in our actual plug on Instagram. Just remind me to do that, and I'll get both of those in there. So, yeah. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us, Jacklyn. We appreciate that. Great insight.
Thank you for letting me tune in. I know there are some technical difficulties.
a little bit.
No problem.
No, it's all good.
I wanted her to be in from the get-go, but there was a little, she was like, no. And then
camera
everyone in the
shy.
chat was like, come on. And
Egging
then
her
they-
on.
Yeah.
It was Jordan.
She's here. I'm glad that she.
Yeah. Thanks for picking this movie. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, great movie. Hall of Famer. Next week, we will be recording a review on Dead Alive, a movie released in 1993. I will not be on that episode, so catch the other Fumblers doing that. I'm going through this whole move thing. So follow us on all of our socials. You can find all of those at filmfumblers.com. Instagram is going to be the best place to find us for what movie we're going to be doing the following week and when we're going to be going live. So yeah, that's a big one to follow us. Just search Film Fumblers pretty much anywhere, and you will find us. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. Again, happy birthday to James, and yeah, we will be still hanging around for the after show if you're watching us live. So tune in for that. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Cheers, everyone. See ya.
Cheers.
Thank you.